Andrew, good to see you. How are you?
I'm good. Good to see you too, John.
It's been a while since we've done one of these, and if you don't mind, we've got a decent sample size of the season now, and as ever, people like myself and the rest of the fans, we like to assess what's going on and put our thoughts out on social media or forums, what have you. So taking a little bit of the temperature of the fans, I'm just going to ask you a few things that I've seen floating around, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, go nuts.
Just as kind of a starter for 10 and really to get your general sense of things, really. You can look at the Devils' season so far, glass half full or glass half empty. Maybe we've had some disappointing losses in the league, notably on Saturday night to Fife, previously to Nottingham. But at the same time, the Devils are still in a good position with games in hand. The Challenge Cup has been rocky, but then it traditionally is for the Devils in the group stages. You're through to the next round. The Champions Hockey League, there was some historical performances and some historical wins. Again, ultimately disappointed not going through to the second stage. Where do you stand at the moment on the assessment of the Devils so far this season?
Yeah, I mean, Champions League I loved. Thought we were fantastic in that. Even those Frölunda games for 2 periods, we were really good. We were really good, especially at home. I thought it was a shame we gave up that one with under a minute to go in the second. That was a heartbreaker. I think it made it 4-2 going into the third. But the way we started in the CHL was awesome. I love the way we built on that. I mean, it was our 3rd year in a row in there, and that's a testament to the guys, to the organization, how far we've come, and to pull out 3 wins was great. Was I very upset that we didn't make it through? Absolutely, would have given anything for that. Challenge Cup, it's kind of our thing to not be great in the round robin there. It drives me nuts. I'm sure it drives other people nuts. We've been, I think we actually started well in the campaign. I think we were first couple games, couple solid wins against Guildford, I believe, and then a couple close losses there recently. The big comeback against Coventry was a huge win, obviously. Bit of a very strange format this year. It's, I don't know how that affects guys mentally. Probably has some impact, unfortunately, as much as that, again, drives me nuts. Mm-hmm. But, to play that many qualification games and then to have the potential just to play one qualifying game is very strange to me. I've never seen that before. I think that needs to be changed going forward. But no excuse. I think, we need to be better in those games, 100%. Our league play, I think we're okay in the standings. Would I like to win every game? Absolutely. I think some inconsistency as of late, the last few weeks here since we've gotten out of the Champions League, it's been, up and down. And that's unfortunate. I think, our home game against Nottingham a few weeks back was pretty poor, lacked a bit of fire. Unfortunately, then we go and play a great game in Nottingham that probably not a lot of people saw because it's not, webcasted or, it's on the road. But that was a great game. And then this past weekend, Saturday, wasn't great in Fife. We started really poor. Couple, mismanagement of the puck, bad line change, I believe, which led to a too many men penalty, and then they score to make it 2-0. And you don't want to give up the first couple in that building because then they really get energized, their belief grows, the building gets rocking. Loved our response. Thought the first period in Dundee was exactly how we want to play. I thought we really took it to them. Got a couple goals, and it was a good win. But yeah, it's been a bit inconsistent of late. Really like our group overall. I think you can really see the potential. We're not sitting here going, we just don't have it. We do have it. I think that's exciting. I think we've seen it from just about every player. We have seen it from every player at times. Do we need it more? Absolutely. And we're going to work very hard at that.
So talking about sample sizes then, it's a decent amount of time to look at how the 5 newcomers have settled into the Devils this year. And again, I think they are quality hockey players. I'm just going to throw a few comments at you to see whether you think they're fair or not. I think McNamee's been outstanding, but unfortunately he got an injury. Same with Riley. McMonagle is fantastic on the puck, a great offensive defenseman, silky skills. There's been comments about is he too aggressive jumping into the play. Similar with Jardine, who I think's got great stick detail. And then Masi Mariomaki started the season off as a huge fan's favourite because of his physical presence. And there have been comments do you feel it's fair to say that's dropped off a little bit? How do you assess how the 5 signings have played for the Cardiff Devils thus far?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to give you everything. Obviously, there's closed door meetings, and I'm not a huge public forum type of guy. But for interview's sake, first off, I think the character in the room that those 5 guys bring is fantastic. I think our character and our togetherness in the room's never been better. Or I know that, and that's awesome. I mean, that's going to bode well for we got a lot of games left, long season ahead, and I think we've seen glimpses of all 5 of their games. Absolutely. Again, I think it's the same as the team, a bit of consistency here and there. I think their injuries to McNamee and Riley were really unfortunate, just the timing of them, not only for our team, but also just in their own personal performances. Riles was really getting going. I think McNamee was absolutely flying when he got injured. I think they're both coming back around now. It takes time. It's tough. You take a week, even a week off, even a couple days off. It's hard in this league. It's a great league now. It's a challenge. As far as our D, are we trying to find the balance between offense and defense? Absolutely. Do we jump at the wrong times at times? Absolutely. Is that just on our D? No. We play a 5-man game. That's the way hockey is now. You look at the NHL, you look at the SHL, you look at Frölunda when we play them. They play way more up-tempo and aggressive than us. You almost don't even know who their defensemen are most of the time when we watch Frölunda. We want to play an aggressive up-tempo game here. We don't trap. I think that's an exciting thing. I think that's something that, as my dad said on the phone last night, why don't you trap sometimes? We probably could and probably should at times. Not really in my DNA. I don't think it's in this team's DNA all that much, or it is, or isn't, excuse me. And I want to play, an up-tempo style of game for our fan base. And I think players are attracted to that style of play as well. I think it's fun for players to play that style, and it brings good players here as well because they want to play that style. They know we play that way. We're working through that. I think we've had to work through that every season. Do we need to back off at times? Yes. Again, I think it's more the reads. If the reads are good and we have forwards working the right way, I think it's very, very effective. And specifically with McMonagle, I think he's been on fire offensively. I think our team D has not been exactly where it typically is. And I think that's from Browner all the way out, and I think everyone will admit that. We're working on that. I think Jard's, I think he's going to be great for us. I think he's had some unbelievable games, had some games where, maybe aren't at his best, like everybody. But I think the best is yet to come, and I'm not sitting here going, wow, we don't have the right pieces. We have a very good team, and, I think we also need to not forget that when you mix in the Champions League and all that, it makes it hard. It makes it really hard to adjust the styles of play, which we need to a little bit, the mentality, the time. You go from not having the puck at all against Frölunda to 3 days later to having the puck the entire game. It's it's the fastest game in the world. It's a feel thing as well. So, really happy with the 5 new guys. We're going to continue to work, and we're going to continue to get better.
So, and again, hopefully the tone of this interview is constructive rather than negative. But I want to ask you the perennial question I ask you kind of every autumn, because this always comes up. So I'm going to try and ask it in a slightly different way. There's been talk about physicality again.
Yeah.
There's been talk about, and I'm a 30-year fan of watching hockey, but there are Devils fans who understandably are saying the game has changed. We've all discussed that the game has changed. It's not maybe the game that they fell in love with. I've seen comments, and take this as a backhanded compliment, that they would love an Andrew Lord on the ice right now. How do you feel that the Devils are doing in that department? But I suppose my different phrase of question is, you've just mentioned Champions Hockey League, all of these competitive games now. It's an 80-plus game season probably. Can you be physical every night?
I mean, that was a long question, but I think one. Yeah. Would I like to play? Yeah, I'd love to play and have, maybe Todd or whoever can be the coach for a week. I think that'd be fun for me, take a week off. But I'm just kidding. But no, we got players that are far better than Andrew Lord. You look at Riley, you look at Maramaki, we have a big body hockey team. I'll be honest, I thought this summer we may have overdone it a little bit. And I thought, I was hoping we would never even have this question because, I see myself and I see our staff is very much in line with what the fan base wants. Is fighting gone? Essentially, yes. Unfortunately, there's a thing called concussions now, and it sucks. It sucks. I wish there wasn't, and then I think everyone would be fighting every night probably. But that's not the case, and I think that's a good thing for head awareness and long-term safety and whatnot. As far as our team, have we dipped a little bit? Yes, and we're addressing that. I think fans don't always know, unfortunately, who's injured, who's not, what's going on with a guy. There's a lot of factors. There's so many factors. And we try to control all those, and sometimes we're not able to. But the other thing is, what's, the style of play. Unfortunately, one night you can go and lay a guy out and there's no call, and then the next night there is. And that is really hard as well because, if it was just a regular season, the league title wasn't the big thing, we could just go out one night and say, you know what, we're just gonna run. We're just gonna run around here. What's the big deal? But now it's, you go play Guildford and you run around, they get 4 straight power plays, like you're done. It's they got a great power play, and it's the same with a lot of these teams. And it's something we're working through, and I think the league's working through it as well, as far as a consistency standpoint. And
Sorry to interrupt, Andrew. Is that the next big stepping stone for the league? Because you don't want to throw the officials under the bus. There's some good officials in this league, and they've probably got the hardest job in hockey. But the game has advanced or evolved so much in the UK, perhaps over the last 3-4 years. Is it in the area of officials and that consistency night to night? Is that the next big step that the league has to make?
I think there's a lot of steps. I think this league is growing faster than any other league I see, and I think that's really exciting. I think it's. I think there's other things that can be done, absolutely, to grow as a league. I think as far as there's a change from where you go and play, which country it's in, to who's officiating. I think we have really good officials. I think it's gaining momentum. I think it's getting way better. It's way better, just like the standard of play from 3 years ago. I think it'll continue to get better. I'm excited about that. I think there's a number of things. Goal line tech I've mentioned. I think goal pegs, these sort of things are probably at the forefront, to be totally honest. The next step to really make our league the next level, because you don't have those issues. You go play in the Champions League, you go play in the EBL, you go play, I talked to Matthias Sointu yesterday in his exit interview, and he talked about how he's never seen anything like that, where the goal keeps getting shoved off, and there's no calls, and then we score a goal in Dundee that goes through the netting, but the goal line tech isn't working. That doesn't happen. He's come from high leagues. That doesn't happen. He was very surprised by that. Will he hopefully come back to our team at some point in the future? I think there's a good chance of that. He loved his time here. But yeah, there's some areas of the league to get better. Back to the physicality, I think that is majority of that's on us. I think our guys need to be more consistent in that, absolutely. And then a bit on, not wanting to take penalties.
Okay. I'm going to push my luck with a couple more before you hit me. Hopefully you'll give me some grace on this. One of the other things that comes up, and I am interested in this myself, so I will throw it at you. Thomas Murdy does a dual role for the Cardiff Devils, and he does a great role, I know, supporting you off the ice. He's also an excellent netminder in this league. But does his dual workload mean there is extra pressure on Ben Bounds to play more minutes? Is there any? I've seen a term thrown around, Ben Bounds burnout. I assume you're having the conversations with Ben Bounds. What's your take on that?
I think Boundsy's fine. He likes playing more games. I tried to pull the plug on him. I think 2 weeks ago, and he wanted it. He wanted one of the games, so we gave it to him. We were going to put Murdy in. I think, would we love another import goalie or, another goalie that can split 50-50? we've looked at that, we've considered that, but it's a huge expense. It's another house. It's all that. It's a big commitment. Bouncy carried the load fantastic the last few years. Can Murdy play more? I think so. I think he's a hell of a goalie. I think he's a heck of a guy. Now that I've known him more and more and more now, when you're the coach, you don't really hang out with the players as much, and you kind of lean on your staff a bit, and a guy like Merds, and he is just an incredible guy, and he's awesome for organization. I think you go back to the league title. I think that has a huge amount to do with it. A huge amount to do with these decisions, just as it does with, can we play a Tom's Rutkiss more? I think so. But when the league title's on the line and it's January 2 and, every game's a Game 7, I think it has a huge impact on these decisions. Do I always get them right? No. But, no, I think Bouncy's good. It is a long year, but I think he's good. I think he's starting to feel it. I like this game in Dundee. I'm excited for this weekend.
This is the last contentious one, and this one comes from me, and hopefully you'll allow me this because you know me a little bit. Maybe I pump your tires too much. I'm a huge fan of you as a coach. I think you're the best coach that this club, this league has ever seen.
Thanks, John.
That's okay. What I was wondering, and I ask this with the greatest respect, and forgive me if I phrase this wrong, I didn't expect you to still be here in the summer. I thought it was time, and you'd built a resume to go higher. The fact that you didn't this summer, and I know you've signed the contract and what have you, but do you feel an extra pressure on yourself to be perfect now? Because I'm looking at you on the bench the last couple of games, and I know you're an emotional guy anyway, but you've looked very emotional. Is there added pressure on you, or you're putting on yourself?
It's a good question. I think I was actually way more emotional last year, to be honest. Down the stretch last year, we wanted that third one bad, and we were going at it, and there was some stuff I wasn't all that happy with, and I think the evolution of a coach. I talked about this with Corey Nielsen a couple years ago. You change, you grow more comfortable in yourself. You change your dynamic, how you coach, et cetera, et cetera. I'm more confident speaking out now. I think I didn't deserve that right when I was a second or third or fourth year coach. Now I'm on my 6th year. I think I think I've earned the right to speak out a little bit more on whether it's league issues or, officiating or whatever it is. I think that's, part of becoming a vet, so to speak. As far as me on the bench, Saturday I was actually really calm, other than the goal that got called back. I wasn't happy with that. That was the only time I lost it. A couple weeks ago, I got pretty animated. I think that's a bit of frustration mixed in with trying to get our own team going. It's not always about the officials or anything like that. It's also about my own team and what I need to do to try to spark some fire. But as far as me putting too much pressure, I think I've always done that. I think you could ask my parents that. I've done that since I was probably 10 years old. But I think that also there's a huge benefit to that. I think that keeps driving me. I love this league. I think it's a great league. I think the best is yet to come for it. I think for myself, my own situation, I really enjoy this group. I enjoy working here. I don't even consider it work, like the staff. I think I'm fine. I think I'm good. I think those longer-term decisions are more of an off-season type of thing. I don't really think about that right now. There's no time.
Okay. A couple of quick housekeeping ones to finish. You mentioned Sointu's departure, a very classy hockey player. He's had a great couple of months here at the Devils. You say he's parted on good terms, and maybe, just maybe, in the future he might look to come back to Cardiff.
Yeah, I like that guy. He's probably the furthest thing from me on the spectrum of personality, or whatever you want to call it. Quiet. Our meetings, I think, are pretty funny. I think I got him to open up a bit by the end of it. But great guy. I know the boys loved him. I think he bought in. I think he helped us. I think he provided something we needed. Also, with just how injured we've been here, pretty much nonstop. I think he really came in at a good time. I think also, would have loved to have him for a full season. I think I think we saw a lot of him, but I think there was a lot more too. Yeah, I think, I'm hoping the best. I think he's hoping for the Ebel right now. I really hope he gets it. I think he can definitely play at that level, but we'll see. We ended on good terms. We'll see where it goes.
This might be the no comment one. Are you looking? Are you waiting for Mosey? And how is Evan? We probably haven't had an update on him for a while. I know he's crazy, but how is he?
Yeah, Mosey's driving me
health-wise?
nuts. We got to get him back playing because he's relentless. I think 8 weeks ago when he could barely walk still, he was, let me get on the ice a little bit, Laura. Let me get out there. Let me get out there. Let me get out there. Like a woodpecker on me every day. But love it. I think he's gone about his rehab fantastic. I think he's worked at it hard. He's obviously, we know about his, what he's like as a guy and what he brings to the room. I think he's been fantastic. Is he a long way off? I think, maybe not in his mind. I think he still is quite a ways off, unfortunately. Are we looking? When the agents send me emails and when I talk to them, I always get the updates and we check in. We'll see. Let's get some sellouts. Let's get the cash flow going.
As I say, that's a Todd budget question,
and
isn't
then,
it? Okay.
let's buy Todd some coffees and the owner some coffees, and we'll see where we're at. But I really like our team. I think we're in good shape. I think we just got to get healthy. We get healthy. I think we got a great group, and I don't think there is a real need to look elsewhere. So we'll see.
And just finally, you mentioned a big weekend, but first up at home on Saturday, still I think the best rivalry or the historical rivalry in the Elite League, Sheffield at home. If you needed a game to get everybody going, that's probably it, and probably a good litmus test because they've started the season well.
Yeah, I mean we played them once there. I don't think that was a great game overall. I thought the ice was not great. I thought both teams were a little sloppy at times. They've obviously found their form. That seems like they're flying right now, and it'll be a really good test for us. I think that's great. I think that's exciting for us. Obviously Sunday as well against Guildford is always tough in that rink. But I think we're pretty much sold out, right, Fee? Pretty much. So yeah, get your tickets. It'll be rocking. I think the atmosphere in the rink's way better this year. I think that's standing room, obviously, but I think that's kind of motivated the other fans. They're all battling a bit now. They're all holding each other accountable. I think the energy in the building's great. Let's keep that going. Let's have a start. Maybe we get a few hits early Saturday, and we just get going.
Andrew, thank you for your patience. We have to do this more often so I can keep the interview shorter.
Yeah, you need it, John.
As ever, great to catch up with you.
Thanks, buddy.